Hello, Scrapbooker Suzanne here in the studio today with a quick run through on Close to My Heart Scrapbooking Workshop, Life's a Hoot. I was able to get 3 more pages from this workshop. Of course, I had to add in some extra cardstock, but they always come out with coordinating cardstock packs for your paper lines. So I also bought the digital collection, as you can see here, and they always give you, well, not always, but most of the time, it includes a 2-page layout. And we've got some extra elements here. And of course, all these individual elements here can be ungrouped and used individually. And then on this, they also give you a couple of cards and those cute owls and lots of butterflies. It's nice that you get the PDF that you can print out so you can put those in a binder and have a record of all your collections. As far as changes to the cutting directions, there were very few. As you can see on this page here, these 2 items, you're able to get one of those out of here, and then the other one I got out of this 2C piece, which is a photo mat, so it doesn't hurt to cut a piece from the middle of that, and then you've got the right orientation. Okay, so that I ended up with a full piece of this and a full piece of this paper left over, and that's what I used to make some of the extra layouts. Shall we take a look? Okay, here is the first of the 3 2-page layouts in the workshop itself. This is lovely design by Close to My Heart. These segmented circles are something you may have seen last year or the year before in some other workshops. I really like this. They sometimes rotate these so the line is on the diagonal, but I prefer vertical and horizontal lines. It's my orderly accounting mind that likes to do that. I really love these acrylic pieces that were included in the workshop. And in fact, you can get even more of those if you buy them separately. And I really wish I had done that, because I thought it could use a few more little bits and bobs. I added in some of the melon sequins. Melon's the color of the year at Close to My Heart, and it blends really well with the flamingo and other colors in this workshop. Let me give you a close-up of that, and you can actually see there are little white heart sequins in there, as well as the melon standard sequins. These owls are just the stars of the show, I think. So, so cute. Of course, there's a stamp set too that includes a couple of the owls, so if you really like them and you want to play around some more, you could get the stamp set as well. Okay, there is the first 2-page. Here is the second. We go from owls to butterflies, and lots of them. There were lots and lots of die cuts in this workshop, as well as this exclusive variegated striped paper. This is really pretty. Here we have the grape watercolor paper just as a horizontal band at the bottom here, and then we have cut it on the diagonal here and use it so that the butterflies are flying off the page. So that's an interesting flow. You come across and then you go up here, and that draws your eye through all of the photos. As you can see here, they have used 2 different photo mats, the wisteria cardstock and the I believe that's Lagoon pattern paper. Very nice. Here for my little pièce de résistance, I did, can you tell I like saying that? Yes, I'm having a little fun this morning. Okay, so here we have the white stars. And these I added in just to give it a little more dimensional items. Isn't it pretty? Let me give you a close up. And then we did a little pen work here with a teal La Pen. I'm glad that Close to My Heart is carrying those. I've been using those for years and years when they were originally featured in paper stores like the Papery. How's this? Isn't this pretty? This is the 3rd set. Here we're using 4 different pieces of pattern paper for our mats, and a couple of them have been double matted to match the matting over here. So lots of ideas on how to mix up your matting in this workshop. So I love that there was gold. They seemed to use all the gold stickers on this page. And so I added in gold glitter gems. Isn't this a beautiful flower cluster down here? As you can see, I've got a little bit of adhesive backing paper behind that. So 3 gorgeous 2-page layouts. Now on to using the digital art collection. Time to get my Cricut out. And I made just a couple of changes from the directions. For one, instead of using a piece of Lagoon cardstock here, I used pattern paper. I think that adds a lot more interest, and I think it ties it better into the rest of the workshop than if all you had here was the cardstock. Although with all these colors of cardstock, it has interest of its own, doesn't it? Here you can see I also added in an extra mat here. This is easy enough. In Cricut, you just take this image, you ungroup it, move it to another mat, and then use the outline feature to add that, and then I just cut just the outline then. Easy peasy. I decided to use some of the stickers here that they hadn't put on, of course, in the Cricut. So I'm really getting the use out of what few stickers were left on the sheet. I also added some here, just a few pen details to sort of make these owls look more like the stickers. And I kind of just copied that. I didn't add as many details as they did, but I did add a few, like these X's and outlining here. Another thing they show is that they put a little white dot on the eyes of the owls. So that's another good tip. It's a very little touch that makes a great big difference. Okay. What did I have left? Then I told you I had those 2 pieces of paper left. So here was the other one. Of course, this is the back of that Lagoon paper. So I had just this strip left. I had a full zip strip. And then I had this narrow strip. I'd say this is about not quite 2 inches wide of the striped paper and the lavender. These these photo mats were actually cut out of the half sheet of diagonal. So you have to be very careful. Obviously, you cut the big one first, and then you'll still have room to get the little one. The Life's a Hoot. They're just stickers from my stash. On the Hoot here, again, I added the background. And I also added a couple of little hearts inside the Hoot. And I gave this little owl a heart too. Then I took 3 stickers, the True Story, where it really happened, and on this day, cut down one of the arrows on the chipboard so that points here. So if I don't actually have a photo to tell the story here, this can be a journaling block. For finishing touches here, I circle punched a few dots out of the chipboard. I had some little white hearts left over, and I had a few melon sequins. Did you notice I turned back these corners here and here? I think that really draws attention to this cluster and to the title. So that's another trick I like to use, is how are you adding interest to your title and to sort of your entry point of the layout. So altogether, I ended up with 1 sticker, Hootie Cutie, which, to be honest, I don't like the sound of that, so I will probably cut that and just put the cutie in my stash somewhere. But I used every little bit of the workshop. I was happy about that. I had a couple of pieces enough to make a quick card. Here it is, Hoot Hoot Hooray. Of course, this isn't even truly a sticker. It was just a piece of sticker behind the 2 border strips, so I cut that down. This pale blue paper is actually a leftover from the It's the Little Things workshop that I just finished. And then as you see, I've put the papers on diagonals here. Hoot, hoot, hooray. And I finished off with 5 stars. Inside, I went to my stash and found a very old stamp set from Technic Tuesday. Really, really old. In fact, it was very, very yellowed, but it stamped pretty well. And then I used watercolor pencils to color and a blender pen to kind of blend. My sister-in-law reminded me of that technique. It helps take out the coloring lines and gives it a more smoother look. I'm going to have to do some more of that because that was a lot of fun. Okay, so I definitely got my money's worth out of that. And then as I was cleaning up, I still had on one mat all the blue pieces that came out of the middle of this. A lot of them were these this 4-petal design and then these other sort of odd shapes. I took the odd shapes off first and that I ended up with the 4-petal design. So I decided, boy, wouldn't it be nice if I could transfer that? So the way I did this was I put a little bit of glue on all of the pieces on the mat, and then I stuck this, assume this is the mat, and then I stuck this on top of it and weighted it down and let it dry for half an hour. And then I carefully pulled it up so that I could make sure each of the pieces was sticking. And a few I had to add a little extra glue, but in the end I came out with this. I decided to put it on the paper slightly wonky. So we'll see how I end up using this on a page. If I decide I can't live with it being quite so wonky, I can always cut it down into more of a square shape. But I think it's really fun. And, you know, it was a way to not put all of that paper in the recycle bin. Okay, that's all I have for today. I really appreciate your time and attention. It's not too late to get the Life's a Hoot scrapbook workshop, and if I were you, I would grab up some extra cardstock, the digital collection, and the extra embellishments so that you have lots and lots of fun things to play with. Okay, as always, I thank you for your time and attention, especially those who watch all the way to the end, because then you would know about the giveaway, for example, the one on the last video I did. So if you happen to have missed that, go check it out. It's probably not too late to get in on that drawing either. Alrighty, bye for a bit.